Welcome to SOULutions, where men come out of the shadows to testify, giving tips in manhood, honor the codes of integrity, and give out real solutions for soul survival. Today, we have on the show a storyteller who captures the essence of gems within real life experiences. He's a crafty wordsmith, a man who raises his awareness and educates you by finding your highest road to accountability. A financial literacy man, a thinking man, a man who's a leader of men. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the sports analyst, fellow podcaster, and friend, Mr. JFK himself, Robert J. Kuhn.
Good, man. Yeah, you put a lot of sauce on that.
Hey, man, sauce is always good.
Put some marinara on that, yo.
What's going on, man?
I'm chilling, man. How you
I'm great, man. I'm ready for you to drop these gems and answer these questions today.
All right, that's what I'm here for, man.
You ready to get it started?
Yeah. What you got for me, man?
Here we go.
All right.
What person did you meet or see that gave you the drive towards the man you are today? Who or what defined you?
Ooh. I would say my father would be the first person that gave me the drive, because it was almost like trying to make him proud was like my goal, trying to make him proud and also trying to prove him wrong. You know what I'm saying? Trying to take stuff that he says can't be done, or, that's not possible, or, old beliefs that may have applied to that time when he was growing up. So I would say, trying to make him proud by doing what he taught me, but also trying to prove him wrong and show him that times have changed.
If you could think of one thing that he taught you that really serves you today and one thing that he tried to teach you that doesn't serve today, what would those two things be? One from each side of the fence.
I would say something that he taught me that serves me today is money management, saving money, and, always having a cushion for a rainy day. What he taught me that doesn't serve me today, I would say women. You know what I'm saying? How to deal with women and how you deal with women. I'm telling, like, none of what he tells me, applies with today's women. Women were different back then, or women had a different position back then. You know what I mean? And trying to tell him stuff like it doesn't apply. He got married young.
Right.
So he wasn't out here in these streets dealing with multiple people and wasting a lot of time. He wasn't doing that.
Absolutely. Some of the financial literacy tips, what did he give you? What holes serve for you today?
I mean, pretty much investing in yourself, like almost like when I say invest in yourself, I mean making the things that you do have work for you. If you have a job, you should have a 401k. You should have multiple streams or percentages of your check going and routing them to different places and forgetting about them. You know what I mean? So when you're older, you don't have to worry about, you can live comfortable. Like, your quality of life will be manageable, because you would have had those different streams of money that you've been saving from your paycheck over periods of time.
So you're saying that send money certain places and forget about them like it's not there. Don't even worry about that until later on, until it serves your life source when you're older. That's the investment first turnaround.
Right. Like, you definitely need to have a 401k, have it raised to the maximum amount that you can raise it to. Each year that you're with the company, you're probably allowed to increase it depending on how long you've been with the company. Each time they allow you to raise it, you max it out as much as you can. Have you a little personal savings account, so for that time, that worked. So I did take a little bit of that. But now, the way we live now, I don't think you should save as much as he would have probably liked, or would have liked me to save. I take it and put it in you want it to work for you. you know they don't understand making your money work for you. They don't understand that. They can't grasp the concept. So like, I really had to like break it down to him, because stuff that he has, like Social Security, certain things that are available to them now may not be available to us when we turn that age. You know what I'm saying? Pensions are being, a lot of jobs not offering pensions anymore. You know what I mean?
Right. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. That is a gem right there. Making your money work for you. All your money should be working for you at all times to have its own legs. You should be telling money what to do. Shouldn't really sit, in my opinion. I agree with you on that. Let's go to the other side of the fence. Give us a couple of things that he told you about women from that applied from yesteryear that you definitely can't apply today.
I mean, just I mean, I guess back then, like, you looked for a certain type of woman, and that is what you stuck to. You know what I mean? Like, you got married early. If you got them pregnant, you know what I'm saying? Like, you started a family right away, you know what I'm saying? And you were the breadwinner. Whereas today, like, the world is not built. Like, it's crazy because the world is not built to do it alone now, but yet we're in a time where you know it's hard to find a mate. You know what I mean? It is very, like, that's the argument, ain't no good men out here, yo, these chicks ain't ish, you know what I'm saying? Back and forth debate about not being able to find anybody. So just the ways, you find a girl, you go on a date, you know what I'm saying? You start doing the do, and then, you make her your wife, and then you have kids, you know what I'm saying? Like, it don't work like that no more. You know what I'm saying? Especially because of the age, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm 40.
Everybody's a 10 though. It's hard to match make when everybody's a 10. Nobody has nothing to work on. Everybody moves around like they're a 10. And in reality, everybody's not a 10.
I just think not everybody's accountable, or not everybody is taught how to be accountable.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
what I mean by 10. You're not whole. You don't know everything about yourself. You don't even know who you are in circumstances. Depends on when you get married, what age, when you're trying to figure out yourself. But people move around these days as they are complete. Now, do you need a partner to complete you? No. But sometimes you really don't know who you are and the nuances of yourself. And I appreciate you sharing those topics today, especially with financial literacy and how today's genuinely things don't move forward relationship wise. And we'll definitely get back to that about those questions. But I do ask you this question. Do you have a vision board?
Yo, that's crazy that you asked that, man. That's crazy. Hold on one second. That's funny that you asked that, yo, because I just started working on this job.
See it, man. It's amazing. Balance, health, wealth, rental properties. Absolutely.
That's crazy, yo, that you actually asked that question, and I've been working on this job. I never worked on one in my life, yo, but I seen, a lot of people talking about it. My sister made one. So I was like, man, let me give it a shot. Yeah, let me see what I could come up with. It's not finished yet, but yeah.
It's a form of universal balance, man. When you're telling the universe what you want, you're writing it down, you're speaking into fruition, you're giving it yourself an object to focus on, to give it real birth and give it real a real tangible good.
Mm.
What what is your apex right now on your vision board? Give me two apex, something that you achieved already and something that you're
Mm.
currently chasing.
I'm currently chasing balance, and I guess you could say money. Money in the form of property, assets, you know. So, I mean, I guess that's what I'm chasing. I'm chasing assets so that 20 years from now, 15 years from now, I won't have to work as hard. I'll be able to
Absolutely.
enjoy. And I'm trying to find balance, you know what I mean? Like therapy, exercise, getting in shape so that when I don't have to work as hard, I can enjoy my life. You know what I'm saying? I'm not fat where when I go to the beach, I'm worried about taking my shirt off.
That's it.
Or go, you know what I'm
That's
saying?
that's
Like,
something people don't really talk about. Like a lot of people don't really have that. Don't you would think a lot of people have that insecurity, but a lot of people, from what I've seen at the beach, they let it hang, right? But
yeah,
I
man.
also suffer from that. I don't like taking my shirt off in public, but that's something to do with your inner self love, and we just have to build ourselves in
Mm,
the up. You have to do the work that you need to do to make sure when you take
right.
your shirt off, because
You like yourself better.
yeah, my wife,
Mm,
she likes to say, at this current moment, God didn't give us the bodies He want because He know we show out. We show up at the beach
mm-hmm.
all oiled up, looking all good, not caring about nobody. If we was that fine already, so we got to
Absolutely.
work for it first
Mm,
to really.
absolutely, yo. And then you want to be able to enjoy life, yo. 20 years from now, yo, if I'm a quadrillionaire and I'm in a damn stretcher, you know what I'm saying, with an IV bottle and eating smoothies because that's all I allowed, you know what I'm saying? I did so much to my body now that I can't even enjoy my quality of life that I work for.
Right, absolutely. That is a gem. Enjoying quality of life. As of late, we're seeing many people who enjoyed the quality of life in their teens and early 30s really
Mhm.
suffering in their 50s and 60s. People who are older than us that we've seen growing up or idolized or in movies or in the coming ages, your counterparts next to you, they didn't
See
really,
people younger than us.
yeah, we didn't really take no time off. We was just partying hard. And the human body is amazing, but it can only take but so much. It can do a lot, but can only take so much if you don't take the time to repair it. You spoke about finding balance within financial literacy in terms of equity and assets. What is one goal that you currently achieve that you're proud of yourself of?
I mean, reaching a certain amount in the stock market.
Mm,
Like I set a short term goal as I want to get to like $3,000 by a certain date, then $5,000 by a certain date. So it's like I have a year goal, but then I have like a monthly goal. Like if I can get to this amount, then ultimately I would reach my, yearly goal.
absolutely. Yeah, yearly goals are something planning ahead. How do you plan something like that? You what do you do? If you can drop some gems for us to like when you plan a year in ahead like that, even in the stock market or financially.
You mean, so I think of a number, like a reasonable number, with me personally, it was 18,000, like 18, 19,000 that I want to make in a year from the stock market. So, and it takes discipline because there'll be a lot of opportunities, and I've had my shortcomings because I'll see something that looked too good to be true and I jump on that and then boom, it just collapsed like, and I end up hurting myself more than I help myself. Like, because you're gonna win. Like I've gotten in some situations where boom, it'd be like 3,000, you know what I'm saying, in like a week. and then you'll lose 6,000 the next week. You know what I'm saying? By being too greedy,
Well,
by
you don't
not
really
sticking.
lose it. It just the stock goes down. You didn't lose your money until you take it out.
Yeah, yeah. But you break your you break your plan
Mm,
because you see an opportunity. Like, well, I made 3,000. I made what I had planned for a month or 2 months spent of time in one
mm,
day. So let me go ahead and get 3,000 more, and then you jump in something that's not part of your plan. That's just like you call an audible, and then
mm.
you end up 6,000 down. You know what I'm saying? When you was just 3,000 up. So
You
you got
gotta
to
pay
stick to your
attention.
plan.
Yeah,
Greed, yeah.
stick to the plan, ladies and gentlemen. Stick to the plan. Don't let
You got to stick.
don't let your eyes eat for you. Absolutely, don't let your eyes eat for you.
Cause it feel good, man. It feel good. You know, you start to feel like you was talking about, man, with the having a body, God giving you the body that,
Yeah,
you don't want. So you gotta work for it. But
yeah,
it's like that. Your eyes get bigger and you call an audible and you pay for it. You get
absolutely,
sacked. Get a
absolutely.
10
Listen,
yard loss.
I'm working hard right now to try to get my body in shape. If I ever get it near Michael B. Jordan status, I'm never wearing a shirt again. I'm just gonna be very
Right.
out there. Just, it's like, yo, Sheen
Driving
doing
around
interviews.
with your
Put a
shirt
shirt
on.
on. Nah, man, I'm
Hmm.
not putting the shirt on. I work hard for this.
For real, yo. And
But it
that's probably
takes,
how they feel.
yeah, it
Like
takes a
how we
long
how we
time.
make fun, how
Yeah,
we make fun of the muscle bound dudes to be at
yeah,
the beach, with
yeah,
their shirts off.
yeah.
I work for this, fam.
I
You know what
work
I'm
for this
saying? I work for this, yeah.
extremely hard.
They be out there, lifting chicks up, doing curls with chicks, yo. You like you work for that.
You work for that, absolutely. So you develop this road to success. You have several checkpoints that you have involved. What are some of the affirmations you're telling yourself in the mornings to get you going, to make sure you're moving forward? What are some of the things you tell yourself every day?
You're worth it. Like I'm worth it. You know what I mean? Because it may be situations where you'll feel bad for putting yourself above other people. Other people
Mm,
may need you. Other people may want to do, may want you to do stuff for them, may want you to help them. And you carry a certain guilt for not doing it. And it's like, I'm not doing it because I need to be doing something for me because
sticking to
I'm
the
worth it
plan. Yeah, because you're
more
sticking to
than,
the plan.
more than you are.
Absolutely.
Versus, doing 1,000 things for 1,000 different people. And then, I look at myself in the mirror and I don't even know who the hell I am. You know what I'm saying?
You spoke some truth about that. Like you said earlier about sticking to the plan and trying to make sure that you are not trying to pull somebody up on the same level as you. How early did you start recognizing those things? Like when you realized that helping people taking away from your cup, because if your cup is full and you keep pouring out in everybody else's cup is full except for yours, but there's no source coming back to fill you back up at the moment. So you have to wait till it rains again, or you have to wait till something unnatural or someone comes along who has their cup overflow of, which those people spent time in their plan and not really helping others. They kind of waited till their cup was full. How did you get to that point where you realize, hey, I got to stop. I got to slow down. I'd rather deal with the guilt of, well, the guilt. It's not, well, it's a guilt that you formulated, but you can overcome it to say that. But how do you deal with the actual transgressions of stepping back and allowing that person to develop themselves enough to where, hey, look, I can't help you right now. You're gonna have to help yourself.
I mean, I'm still learning that. It's not something that I don't think you hope to get a hold on it. You hope to get better at it. I think as I've gotten older and, different situations, and you may let somebody else slip into that realm where they have that much of you and you care about them that much to give them that much of you. But I mean, I would say within the last year and a half, 2 years, like I've been choosing myself over everybody. Mm, I
And
mean,
what
with the exception of the people that know that, I'm gonna do anything for them.
I find it amazing the people that are, for me, this is my personal experience. The people who are the closest to me don't ask me for anything. They don't ask me for anything because their accountability for themselves is so high that, and the awareness of each other is so high. If you need it, I would just give it. It feels like sometimes the people who need to ask and say, "Hey, can you help me with this?" all the time are the people who are just there just to ask. Sometimes they're not looking to develop. They're looking at you as a crutch. It seems that way because the people who seem to have it together, which nobody really has it together, people don't really ask. But if you evaluate your friend correctly, you be like, okay, my brother, do you need something? I see something different in you, because you don't have to ask when you can see who your friends are. It's the people who ask all the time is the ones you got to start saying, are you really here for this friendship? Or are you really here because I say yes? People know where to get their motivation. I believe we had this conversation before off air, is that people come to you when they know they can get a certain answer from you or a certain resource from you. Now you have to really decide,
Absolutely.
are you here because of this? Because I'm going to give you,
Absolutely.
it's not even about money. It's just like, are you here because I'm gonna tell you, yeah, you should do that, man. Go ahead, man. Go ahead. Or you shouldn't do that. Like, you're here because you know me. So
Mm.
you map me out to the point where I know I can get this energy from him. And this is my personal opinion. And that's why sometimes it's good to switch it up, hit an audible on them, just out of nowhere. Nah, I'm not helping you. What? What do you mean? You got to find another way.
But then, but then it's funny because then you have people that show up like they have it all together. You know what I'm saying? It kind of reminds me of the you saw the Drink Champs interview with Cameron.
Yes.
And they act like, yo, I got it together, this intact. He is like, rappers, they act like
Mm.
they got it all together. Then you sign them where you obligated and you committed to them, then you find out, yo, man, I'm 6 years behind on my rent. Like,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
what?
Yeah,
Like, you know
yeah.
what I'm saying? You just had it together, you know what I mean? But they just make it look good until they get you in that position where they feel like
They can
you gonna
bring
say
you in.
yes.
They
Yep.
that means they was hunting for that energy all along. They wasn't really hunting for the deal or for the work. They were hunting for the opportunity for someone to ask for a resource from. Some people, like, those are some of the strongest wielding people, the people who want to ask you for something because they willed you, they find you, they find the same person every time because
And they make you mad comfortable.
yeah. And
They get you real
you ever
comfortable.
seen a person who has taken all of their resources from people around them, and all they did is migrate to another set of people who are like-minded and continue that process? Like they say, a new sucker is born every day,
Yep.
because it's
Yep.
not a new sucker. It's just a person who's mapped out that type of energy and says, hey,
Yep.
I know how to work this angle. This is my angle.
They know what to look for. Yep. They
Right.
know what to look for, and they know exactly what you like and what makes you comfortable.
And with key words to use. And that's why these conversations of accountability, integrity, and respect, we're going to raise that bar to where the patterns change. And those people are forced to take a look at themselves, and we're all forced to get better. Because it's not just the user, it's also the person who's giving out the resources. We all need to heal. We all need to grow both ways. Talk to me how early you started goal setting. You spoke about your dad giving you this wisdom and knowledge about financial literacy and also information about women. But personally for you, when did you start goal setting, and what did you start seeing it come to fruition when you started to goal set?
I mean, it was young, really, man. Like probably middle school when I started playing sports. Wanting to be able to do a certain move. it started early, started with sports. Then as I got in high school, it went to probably women. And then when I realized that that wasn't as important as it appeared to be, it went to life. You know what I'm saying?
But talk to me about, let's go back to where you were learning the move for sports. What did that look like for you? What was the motivation? What was the goal? How did you transition that effect? What were some of the steps you take?
Going to the court every morning, at the crack of dawn, and practicing it. And then, growing up, I mean, as far as basketball, I was always short. I was the shortest friend out of everybody. So, I had to come up with ways to not get my shot blocked. So I would do my up and under move, kept practicing it, teardrops, so that I couldn't get my shots blocked as much. So it just really came from practice, just going to the court and doing over and over and over and over until I got it. And then I'm in the game and I'm trying it. And, people was like, dog, yo, you did the same move. But it's like, yo, you can't block it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to keep doing it, yo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Friend to the show, Hugo V, we talked about practice. We talked about muscle memory. We talked about working something to where it's natural for you and others can't defend against it. I'm on the record as saying all you got to do is have a really good go-to move until you get to, if you can make it all the way to the league, one of those 300 to 400 players. Some of those guys have one specialty and then it takes them years to develop an all-around game. A lot of people spend a lot of time trying to develop an all-around game before they even get to the league and not work on that one special thing.
Right.
It goes back to that phrase, jack of all trades, master of none. I would implore everyone to be detailed and pedantic and get really master something, and you become the best at it where somebody can't even match your wits or your tangible gifts that you give to the world. Absolutely, man. Get out there and master.
And bringing it to like basketball, like you look at a person like Hakeem Olajuwon. Hakeem had a few moves throughout his career. He said, for every move that I have to have 3 different counters for it. So when I do my favorite move, if there's somebody there, I have another move, another movement or footwork that I'm gonna do to try to get a shot from that area. If I go to the third spot and somebody's there to block it, I have another place I can go to so that they, you know what I mean? So he came up with 3 different counters. I'm gonna do this spin. If there's somebody there, then I'm gonna come back, spin the other way. If there's somebody there, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So
and he taught Kobe that. Kobe saw that and Kobe said, teach me that.
Right. See, jacks of all trades never have students, only masters. When you learn something and you're a master, and after a while you perfected it or you earned your money or earned your way from it, students will seek you out and then you become a teacher, and that's how you earn on the back end. He learned the skill, he developed it, and like you said, Kobe, LeBron, everybody's learning from Hakeem Olajuwon, one of the greatest centers ever. For those who are listening who might not know who Hakeem Olajuwon is. So we talked about financial literacy, we talked about your development and growing yourself to help people when not recognizing these things. We talked about your growth in terms of being balanced and all those achievements that you're trying to get to right now. You're hustling, you're getting it done, you're making vision boards, you're seeing things differently. What did you sacrifice?
Fun. Commitment. You know what I'm saying? Like not taking trips. I haven't been on a real vacation ever. Ever. Realistically, ever. A real vacation. Like what I see, another one of our homeboys go on, it seemed like every week he's on vacation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he's invited me to 1,000 of them, but I've never gone. You know what I mean? That's part of it, and that's something that I'm gonna try to make a conscious effort to start doing.
Part of that balance that you hope to reach, traveling and growing in that regard is also very therapeutic. Seeing new beauties and joys that life has created. We talked about women earlier. There's so many beautiful women around the world that you probably haven't even came across. The
That
amount
I
of
don't even know I like.
yeah, that you even know you like the amount of women, and it doesn't have to be sexy. It doesn't have to be sex or something about sex. It's just more of like there are just some beautiful women out there mentally that will just grow you.
Values.
The values is just different people. Like their stock is just way different, and I don't mean it's better than any other women. It's just different. It's just a different thing that will grow you in a different direction. Like I would say your mind and your experience can be like rosemary. Like rosemary always grows through all seasons and it smells fresh. And when you clip it, it smells amazing, right? And it can just continue to grow. Your experience is growing. You become this different person because you're trying to be, but you're trying to
Right.
be a well-rounded person. And then you start to become more worldly. And when you become more worldly, you can really enjoy these creations because everything around us is an idea. Everything we have, hats, shirts, microphones, whatever we use, it was someone's idea first. And it'll be great to meet these people from around the world who have all these great ideas. And you'll start to feel like you're giving more balance to yourself in that regard, to knowing the great things around the world instead of staying in your personal circumference. But I understand your sacrifice. But I want to dive a little deep. I want to talk about your lowest moment. And I don't just want to know about any moment. I want to know about your lowest moment where you feel like you didn't know yourself. But I would love to know how you got up from it. This is for the people that might be struggling with the things you may have struggled or currently struggle with, that you can help them right now with some information. Let's dive into your lowest moment when you're feeling like you didn't know yourself.
My lowest moment. That I mean, it happened probably. It happened pretty recent. You know what I mean? And there was a situation where, when I was young, I had a temper. You know what I'm saying? I was hot-headed, and as I've gotten older, I've gotten more relaxed, mild-mannered, laid back. You know, but I was put in a situation where I did some things that, you know, that I thought that part of me didn't exist anymore. You know what I'm saying? And it was almost like, I mean, I would say that was, I mean, of course, I've had multiple low moments in my life, but I would say that was my lowest because I expected better from myself.
Mm,
You know what I mean? It's almost like becoming what you despise. You know what I'm saying? So it's like everything that I did in that moment was something that disgusts me. Looking out at other people, seeing people that would do something like that, it disgusts me. And I would say that was my lowest moment. That's what made me kind of like, yo, fam, you got to start living better. You got to start talking to some people. You got to get you some help. You got to sit down, talk to somebody so that you don't deal with people that would put you in positions like that where you're allowed to perform at your lowest moment.
mm, absolutely. So within that lowest moment, you're watching yourself. Because I'm a proponent. I believe there's heaven and hell inside of us, right? I believe whatever side you water the most is the one that will come out faster than the other in terms of your natural instincts. But sometimes when you boil over and hold stuff in, one of the sides can come out because you secretly been feeding it little cheeseburgers, like in the episode of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air where he was taking Uncle Phil those cheeseburgers on the side. He led to
Mm.
a heart attack. It led to some things going on health wise. I believe once you start to take stuff in and don't acknowledge it, you're still feeding that other side to explode like a volcano. In that moment that you were in, was the good side of you watching yourself but didn't have control, saying, what are you doing? Or were you all the way there?
Nah, I think the good side was gone
Mm,
for that particular time. It was no, it was like you black out, you know what I'm saying?
mhm.
And the good side was gone. And it was like, since you want to see this person, since you put yourself in a position to see this person, let me let you see what he looked like.
Right,
And I
right.
was disgusted by it, you know what I'm saying?
How did
I
how
was
did you forgive
disgusted by it.
yourself? How did you forgive yourself? Like, what did how did the healing start for those who have experienced these blackout moments? For example, I've talked about before about $1 million worth of game about Wallow talking about he was in prison and someone came up to him and said, "How long did it take for you to get here?" And he didn't understand. He was like, I believe Wallow had 20 years or 20, 25 years,
22, something like that,
22 years.
22.
And
Mhm.
he said, "How long did it take you to get here?" He didn't understand the question. He was like, "How long did it take you to commit the crime for you to get here?" And he was like, 3 seconds. So 3 seconds cost you 20 years. So for those people who might be listening, how did you recover and forgive yourself? What does that process look like to forgive yourself for the moments you may have blacked out when you allowed someone to tap into your deepest, darkest reflection of you?
I mean, honestly, I had to let it out. You know what I'm saying? I had to let it out. I mean, I went out and sometimes I just walked and thought, you know, and kind of like try to figure out what led me up to that moment. You know, what was going on with me personally versus what was going on just around me that made me feel like that was, an option. And I just, reflected, self-reflection, while exercising and eating better and therapy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Therapy, like telling somebody who's a complete stranger, because your friends, man, your friends is one thing, but actually somebody who this is their profession, they have the tools to get certain things out of you and put you in a certain seat where it was like I was put in a position to where, how you said, like, was the good part looking at the bad part, and it was putting me in a situation where I was looking, because a lot of times you'll look at somebody negatively. He was putting me in their chair looking at me.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So you may be looking at somebody like the enemy, but imagine how they looking at you and you don't even know it. You know what I'm saying? Just because you thinking you're this and you're that, sit in their seat, think their thoughts, and deal with you. And
Mm,
after going through all of that, man, and seeing it, you kind of you feel different.
feel different.
All of the animosity and the anger and all of that just feels different when
Mm.
you look at it from that perspective.
Yeah, man, it's something to say to look at yourself in that situation. Now, some people out there listening, like, nope, I still would have reacted the same way. They deserved it. But I get what you're saying. That is an opportunity. If you're listening, that is some free games, some free gems right now that you can go ahead and reflect. Just really looking the man in the mirror. I was listening to that Michael Jackson song the other day. And I was like, this song is amazing, amazing. As a kid, you just dance to it because Michael Jackson made you feel good. But when you start listening to the words of how to really be the change you want to see, it's talking about you. It's talking about your reflection. Like, you don't have to change anyone else or try to change anyone else but yourself. And that should be enough to ward off all the evil, all the people that come around you. Because you carry yourself a certain way, people do not want to be around something they can't take advantage of if they're here to take advantage. They're gonna go find the people that's easier. People don't want to work hard to take advantage of people. People want the easy people. So if you become hard and it finds you in a place where you have self-reflection and leads you a place where you're by yourself for a little while, it's all good, brother, because that gives you an opportunity to come out new and fresh and reborn. And I thank you for that, Mr. Cole. Now let's stretch
Uh,
that out a little bit. Woof. We dove a little deep, and now let's come out of that water. Let's swim back up a little bit. Let's have some fun in this interview. Talk to me about what have you procrastinated on and why?
Exercise, getting in shape, man. I don't know, yo. Like I'm just a sucker for cookies, man, cakes, milkshakes. You know what I'm saying? I'm a sucker for sweets, dog. Like I cannot. Once I get in that mode where I'm not gonna touch it, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? After 30 days, once I go 30 days, I'm good. My body don't crave it. I don't, I can be around it and be fine. But I have to get to that 30 days. All it takes is that 30 days. And lately, I have not been able to get past that 30 days, Like I just been like, I go a good week and a half, even 2 weeks, and then something come up, a birthday or go out to eat and something roll up, and I'm like, oh damn, word,
they got cookies.
We got word, they got everything I love in here. I'll just have one,
That's what happens for me. I went 3 months without eating pasta. Pasta is my thing. You know how I grew up with ramen noodles. I had to get off the ramen noodles. I finally made it off of it, but I still stuck on pasta because it's spaghetti nights to feed the whole family. And when you get to that point where you get off pasta, then you come back and have just a little bit. Like I'm just gonna have some. I'm gonna try what they make it over here. Man, I'll go on a pasta bench for 2 weeks, gain 45 pounds in 2 weeks, and be like, oh, exactly, wow, man. How did this happen?
That's how I do it too, man. Like I'll do good, but it's like when I do go to it, like I think that's the ultimate discipline. When you could go to something you love the most, and literally have a little bit of it and be satisfied. I haven't mastered that.
I think once the discipline is just leaving it alone. Like, nah, I'm good on that. Like, yeah, I think the discipline is not celebrating that you lost weight with food.
What you mean?
Like for me and my wife, we'll lose 15 pounds. Like, woo, yeah, let's go to the buffet. Like we did it.
Oh, right. Got you. Not celebrating with going to get what you love, because then you get drawn right back. I guess I can
have this now, and then you throw yourself right back in the fire. Because I told former past guest Pudgy the Fat Bastard, I told him, I said, I got to stop celebrating my life with food. Everything we do, we celebrate with food. Why do we do that?
Absolutely. I mean, that's what we were taught historically,
right,
man.
Right.
That's what we were taught to do. Repasses, people die, we have barbecues.
Eat. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Like, people died from the stuff that we eating, from the stuff that we're, serving at the party that we're celebrating their death at. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody died from diabetes and had a stroke, and we over there eating macaroni and cheese and fried chicken.
Exactly. Eating everything that put them in that casket,
Oh my God.
Yeah, man. It's
absolutely.
just,
Yeah, absolutely.
It's culture, man. It's culture. I mean, you look at Asians, man. Asians, they're probably in the best shape of all. Probably, I would think.
I think everybody has their portion of people who are not in shape.
No, I mean, yeah, of course, but I mean, I think like their soul food, what they would consider their soul food, or the stuff that they eat all the time.
Right.
I'm sure. In our neighborhood, you go to the Chinese place, the stuff that they're sitting at that table eating is not what they're serving us.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I agree with that.
And you see them, and
nor do we want it either. We be like, man, where's the chicken wings and fried rice? You got beans.
But they be living to 145.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They be living to 116, man. We be out of here at 47. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going too soon.
I'm not even. I'm gonna be here. Yeah, I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be here. Wow. For real, we're gonna be here, man.
Yeah, making these changes. We making these changes, and we doing better every day. You absolutely right. Now, I have a question for you that is new on the show. It's fairly new. I think you're about my 25th person to ask. And I need to know if this question is too intrusive. And should I keep it or get rid of it? And if you want to answer it, that would be great also. Are you ready for this question?
Hold on, let me get a sip real quick.
Are you ready for this question, sir?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. What was abusive to you that you thought was love? How did you recognize it? How long did it take for you to accept it? What was abusive to you that you thought was love? How did you recognize it? How long did it take for you to accept it?
And this could be at any point in your life, or
Any point in your life, anything you want to say. It could be minute, it could be whatever you want it to be.
What was abusive to me that I thought was love?
Mm-hmm. How did you recognize it? How long did it take for you to accept that it was abusive?
It's gonna sound crazy, man. I guess like somebody accepting me for who I am, knowing that I could be better, and not constantly informing me or reiterating like
or requesting for the upgrade.
Right.
Accepting you as you are, but knowing that you could be better.
Right. Like I'm trying to think of a way. I'm trying to think of an explanation.
That's a good one. I like that.
I'm trying to think of a way to describe it. It's almost like, you remember how you would try to, how some females you date that accepts you for who you are and you're just comfortable, just at your worst, you're comfortable. They've seen you at your worst, stinking, shower a few days, still love you the same. Versus, you remember how you would essentially be a representative for a chick because you wanted her to think that you were this certain way, or like I'm this type of person. So it was annoying and it was a lot of work because you were trying to be something to make her happy, or to make her feel that you're this type of person, but you were working towards something. Like I always used to look at that as a bad thing. I always used to look at that as a bad thing. Like, yo, that shit was exhausting, man. I'm sitting here having to be somebody I'm not, it was exhausting. But then as I got older, I would think about it again, and I'm like, you were being a better version of yourself. You were working on, even though it was for somebody else,
mm-hmm.
You were, it has to be, eventually it has to be for yourself.
Right.
If you can do a version of that for yourself instead of for a woman or, for somebody else, I think it helps you.
Right. But I think it also depends exactly what your representative is giving you at the time. It depends on what. Sometimes I've talked about with other men about if you're a workaholic, and then when you first meet this woman, you take off 3 days from work and you date her 3 days straight. You're giving her the consistency of someone who is available and emotionally available. But sooner or later, you're going to snap into being back a workaholic who doesn't really have the kind of time that she thought she was going to have. And then sooner or later, it's going to all start to go down because you're not presenting yourself who you were in the beginning. I don't think you're talking about that. I think you're talking about, yo, I'm going to put on these fresh clothes. I'm gonna make sure this is my
Bingo.
car is washed. I'm gonna make sure my
Bingo.
bed is made. I'm gonna
Bingo.
make sure the dishes is washed, like the things you're supposed to be doing, but you sit there like, man, it's
But you
hard work.
laxed.
It's hard work. It's hard work doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Exactly.
But
That's what I mean.
she was making you have the dopamine to get up and do it.
Right. She was making me tighten up.
Yeah, motivation.
Versus meeting somebody that
Versus,
I don't worry about that.
Versus throwing all the clothes in your closet before she gets there.
Exactly.
Now you folded them up like, all right, she gonna check the drawers and make sure we clean.
So it's about like finding that balance, for yourself.
For yourself.
Because I remember doing that, I'm gonna make this chick think, like you said, getting fresh. That's a perfect example of it,
Yeah.
You try to have it's almost like the first day of school. Like these first 5 dates is gonna be like that first week of school, when you got your 5 outfits, Oh, he fresh.
Yeah, but
she don't even know what the rest of this trash look like, but she thinking oh, he could dress.
Like with some people in school, by day 20, them clothes is done.
Some people, man, by Monday, by the next Monday.
Like me. You know how I was in school, man. I mess up my clothes quick.
Yeah. Skizzy, I would drive down there to Oberg, rob Skizzy closet, or we swap our closets for the next 2 weeks, Like, son, here's my 10 outfits. Let me get them 10. I'm brand new, he just wore 20 new outfits in a row.
Yeah, we swapping. Just like, I came up with the concept. I said if men had to have $10,000 in the bank before they get to have relations with a woman, everybody be sharing that same $10,000 around. Like, it's my week to get the 10.
It's my week.
It's my week. They ain't gonna try. Most people ain't gonna try to work for that 10. They gonna try to pass it around as much as possible. We're gonna come up with a way to get to the goal. Absolutely. And as long as you recognize that, she made you recognize those things in yourself. So that's a good thing that you recognize that you was even doing that, maybe for the next person you want, or maybe for yourself you will. So you're not even doing it for the next person. You're actually just applying what you learned from your previous relationship to be a better person.
Right.
Now let's dive into some more fun talk. Now, this is the question I like asking all my guests. This is some fun stuff. I would love to hear your answer. Did you ever get a sex talk? Who or what gave you sex education?
I don't think I ever got one, bro. Straight up, I don't think I ever got. I think I might have asked my sister about kissing. Like back when I was in middle school, you know what I mean? That was probably the only time, because I knew somebody was a little fast, and I knew that eventually I was gonna be tonguing them down, and I was like mad nervous, So I actually asked my sister, like, how does it go? Like, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, she told me, but other than that, nah.
So how did you
I just
find
figured
out?
it out.
What did you do? What did you find out?
The same way everybody else found out. Most males in our generation find out. Popping that wrong tape in the VCR and you see something going on, and you like, oh, that's what I'm supposed to do? Oh, all right. And then we out here doing it how we seen on the tape. You know what I'm saying? When even that's incorrect. In reality, I mean, you revert to that sometimes for certain people, but that's not for everybody. You know what I mean?
For everybody. Yeah, and I think that's like an overall problem, because you got men out here really reenacting their favorite porn star, but it's not reality. It's like there's takes. Yeah. There's cuts, like cut. We're gonna change to this position, put the more lighting, more makeup. Like it's a lot of stuff, but we didn't know that. And if you could give me a story about the first time you discovered one of those tapes, we would love to hear that today. Because we have other guests come on the show talk about their first time running into sex. I often say, our uncles or our friends didn't help. You stick your hot dog in that banana, like something crazy, like that makes no sense at all. But they give you these like, you ain't a man if you ain't getting none yet. You jump off the porch yet. You're hearing about this thing about becoming a man. What are some of your first times you actually discovered, or you were like, whoa, what is this?
where I discovered one of them tapes.
Yeah, like what happens? Like the first
Snooping.
time you found out what it was.
Oh, snooping through the crib, yo. And going somebody's sock drawer, you know what I mean, and find this tape. Why the hell is a tape in the sock drawer? You know what I mean? Gotta be something special, and you pop it in, and then voila, man. Seen some Jerry curl juice, you know what I'm saying? Getting the Jerry curl juice waxed off of her, yo. Like,
Yeah.
yo,
What do you think about today's society? How kids are finding out? I mean, it's all in their music. It's on their cereal box. It's like everywhere. It's promoted. It's super hard.
it's on their tablets, man.
Yeah.
It's on their phones. It's on their tablets. It's in TV shows they watch. You know what I mean? So they're a lot more advanced than we were. We were fast too. We thought we were fast, but I mean, kids they advanced. Like straight up, yo. There's kids out there making love, yo, at like 18 years old. Yo,
18.
at 14, 13 years old, making love, yo. Doing what a 40-year-old is doing with his wife, yo. They down there 13, 14 years old making love, yo. Not what they saw on a porno tape. They'll tell you, nah, that stuff on there, that's nonsense, dog. You know what I'm saying? Where we thought that was the gospel, you know what I'm saying? If you ain't Shawn Michaels, yo, or damn, whatever them old porn name was, Shawn Michaels, or Delvin Weed.
Oh my God. Yeah. A friend to the show, Jules Reed, I asked him the same question. He said, Wesley Pipes. He said, well, I learned like Wesley Pipes like everybody else. He's like,
exactly, yo.
But what do you think of that? Why do you think your dad or your mom never sat you down and prepared you for something that we was going to enjoy our entire lives, something that can cause the government to get involved in terms of like child support, things that actually can ruin you, bring you joy at the same time? Why do you think that we run and shy away from that conversation when it's everybody's organically, this is how you got here. Scientifically, this is how you got here.
I don't think that generation was tuned into that. I think that generation had a whole nother fight, like our parents, they weren't really, unless they walked in on it, walked in on us doing it, or walked in on us watching it, or which I'm sure a lot of us never really got caught red-handed, you know what I'm saying? But they were working, they were trying to raise 2 and 3 kids. They were tired. They ain't had time to sit Sheem down or sit Rob down and be like, yo, man,
Man, but they got the 2 or 3 kids. They know how the kids got here. Even they made up stories. Hey, where babies come from? Oh, a pelican flew and brought you to me on my doorstep. Like we were doing so many things instead of really talking about the thing.
That's because a lot of that stuff, I think our generation is better because, in regards to the relationships that we can have with our kids. Because I think our generation is a lot closer. I think technology has allowed us to be a lot closer. You know what I'm saying? Whereas you have a 40-year-old and a 20-year-old that can have a conversation because they probably like the same music. They're into the same sports, they know a lot of play, whereas like there was such a gap between me and my pops, we couldn't have that. We didn't have a lot in common. We didn't have a lot to talk about. Sports was probably one thing, wrestling, but outside of that, as far as life, there was no common, I didn't know what he was experiencing. He didn't know what I was experiencing. He just thought he knew. But
right.
What he was going through and what I was going through, those were 2 different worlds,
And that's the
he
point.
He grew up in the 40s, mm-hmm. and when I grew up in the 80s, those were 2 different worlds.
And that's the point of the show, man. That's the point of why we're here today, to have these conversations where we talk to all men from all walks of life so we can start engaging to see how we all are living, take these experiences and put them in our tool belt so we can help grow each other and be better every day. I appreciate you telling us your stories about your tapes snooping through the crib. That's pretty funny. Should there be a basic training program amongst men? A level of education given out? I'm talking financial literacy, communication, how to change a tie, how to change a tire, general wealth building, stocks, elderly, speaking to the elderly with intent, these type of things in the community setting tribe process outside of the Boys and Girls Club, outside of the church, outside of the school, outside of the library. We're actually community tribe building. Do you ever think we can bring something like that to our community?
I think we can. I think we can if you have a lot of like-minded people that are willing to do it, that are willing to make that sacrifice. I think that is possible, and I think that it's beneficial. I think it, like constantly we have conversations about why does this happen or why does that happen, because there are no villages. You know what I'm saying? With the situation, I'm sure you saw that took place with the cop shooting the girl that had the knife. I'm sure you probably saw that somewhere out there, and I think it was Ohio or something like that. But somebody said before, somebody said one of those people out there gave that girl that knife to even go and get in that position to think about doing what she did. You know what I'm saying? Somebody in the neighborhood around watching and like egging on the fight gave her the knife to go and, so somebody egged that decision on. Like, oh yeah, you need to do that. Here, take this knife and go do that. That put her in a situation and she lost her life. That's a village. You know what I'm saying? That's a village.
Mentality.
That's somebody in that broken down village with those type of ideologies and that type of thought process to put her in that situation. You know what I'm saying? Versus, I think about like, imagine if we all lived in a certain area. Me, you, think of all of our friends married. If we all lived in like a certain area, I think about it like how Dave Chappelle talks about the place he lives in Ohio, like the small community where, everybody looks after everybody's child. Businesses are, Sheem will have the barbershop, or Sheem will have the studio. Rob has the car wash, or Rob has, all of us are just one big community of people, watching after each other's kids, knowing that I have the same love for your kid that you do. The cops that govern our area, they're a part of the community. So before somebody gets shot, they come to Rasheen, or they come to me and say, I see your son doing this with them people, or I see your son is, doing a few things. I think you need to have that talk with him. You know what I'm saying? They would come, instead of making such a final decision, like, I'ma just shoot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a community. I think that's what's missing, man. Like villages,
Right.
Modern villages.
And I think the amount of pressure that has compounded from the people who were killed out of procedure, and now the people who are getting killed in just like, for example, I watched the video. The fact that the young girl was about to stab the other young girl could justify the cop doing what he doing. They're not trained to subdue. They're trained to shoot to kill, for what I've heard. He let off for 4 shots. I don't think they're supposed to let off that many. I'm not sure. Especially into a area of crowded, there's people all around. He could have hit anyone. So I don't speak for police. I don't know what the procedure was, but I know one thing I do know from just standing there. You are right about community. Her parents are outside. 2 girls came to jump her. I guess that's the story. And somebody gave her a knife to defend herself. Now we have grown.
After she got jumped. And I guess she was getting back in an advantageous situation, and the odds, it evened out. And the person, gave her the knife, like, yeah, go ahead and make that decision. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, listen, man. I can't talk about what today is about, but I know before I've been jumped before, and I know that when it comes back around, and you go to settle the score when you're doing the young people thing, sometimes you just got to fight everybody one on one. If there's a bunch of adults there, it's like, hey man, you're gonna fight each one of these people one on one. You know what I'm saying? Don't lose. Good luck, but you're gonna get your fair shot. And I think that a fair shot thing, I think a lot of people are afraid to get hit. So jumping people or doing things, grabbing weapons, is their fear of, I don't want to get hurt in this situation, even though I'm the antagonist or the protagonist. It doesn't matter. And to me, the tribe helped that lady lose her life. And some people are like, why did they call the cops? Well, that means someone still would have lost their life in that situation, because the girl had a knife. She would have stabbed someone. Somebody was going to get hurt in that situation. And the parents and all these adults outside just watching. And I don't know, man. It's a lot to unpack with the story. I don't have enough information, but I know that after she was killed, the dad just sat there and screamed, "Why did you shoot her? Why did you allow her to be out there with that knife?"
After, I believe, throwing her the knife.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, the village, dog. The village is, they out there fighting because they, young kids, they hate each other. They hate themselves.
Right. And the circumstances. I think some of the self-hate comes from where we are and how we look at society, right? You start to understand, like, man, we ain't gonna never get ahead. They ain't gonna give us nothing. But we really don't need as much as you think we do to be your best self. And that becomes just knowledge of self and information, like reading and understanding how the system works. It's just like we have to.
It's instilled.
Yeah, it is instilled.
I think the hate for self is instilled, almost like fear is instilled.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Your parents, they instill fears in you. You know what I mean? What? You about to take that money and do what with it? Yeah, I'm about to take that money and buy a house so that I can buy another house and buy another house, instead of just having 40,000 in the bank and holding it for dear life.
Right. Absolutely. Right. So it's a lot to digest, but absolutely, tribe building is our best resource. But to be fair, throughout history, every time we built up a tribe that was doing well, the same institution that killed a young girl came and destroyed it. So we have to figure out, what does that look like now? How do we learn from the past to be ready for the people that come to conquer? Because some people, all they know how to do is conquer. And some people, all we know how to do is love. Sometimes, like you said, those consistencies got to change. We got to change it up and surprise people and be the people who protect what we made and protect what we love. And it just has to change one day, and I'm sure it will. I want to poll you. I want to know the top 3 things you want in a woman. And the reason I ask this question is because sometimes men leave out one of the most important things I believe is essential that you want to have in a woman. Now, this answer is subjugated towards you. There's no wrong answer. But I'm going to wait and see what you have to say, and then I'm going to tell you the word that I'm thinking of. And sometimes men don't get it. We have a few guys get it on the show, which is great. But I want to hear your top 3 things, your criteria that you want in a woman.
Top 3 things I want in a woman?
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest, I'm still trying to figure that out. I mean, I say, because I've said I want this, and that, and I've got those things, and it's still, I just want somebody that's willing to build. You know what I'm saying? That's willing to build, that's willing to do what we need to do to build.
That's one. That's one. Come on, give me 2 more. You got 2 more in you.
Build a legacy. financially literate, and compassionate, like a nurturer.
Ah, okay. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. That's great. Legacy building, financial literacy, and compassionate. That sounds like you gonna be working towards a really good woman. Some guys say I want her to look good, have a nice waist. Some guys say they want her to be trustworthy, and a lot of guys say nurturing and compassionate. I always say intelligence. Intelligence covers so many things. It covers emotional intelligence. It covers to knowing the nuances of you, when not to be a wife and when to be one, be your friend, or when to be the mother, or when to be the nurturer in the situation. So I implore you, since you don't have a top three, I I I charge you with looking for intelligence in a woman. Because when all is said and done, when common communication starts, you want to have somebody who knows how to communicate so you guys continue to grow.
Nah, that's a good one. Intelligence, definitely. I mean, definitely. I mean, that's not something that it makes sense, because then that will work everything else out, or that will be able to weather everything else out. You know what I mean?
And just to point out, a lot of men think it comes guaranteed in a woman or a partner. It really doesn't.
Mhm.
Some people out here, some people out here are moving very misinformed or doing things they have yet to learn what to apply.
Mm.
Absolutely.
Definitely, man.
We talk,
Definitely.
yeah, we talk about leaving a legacy, but we mostly ignore major steps. Do you have a will?
Mm. I have beneficiaries. I don't have a will though.
Why don't you think you have a will? Do you think we run away from this because of the thought of our mortality?
Mm. I think you don't start doing that until you acquire a certain amount, or until you have somebody to leave it to. Me personally, I don't have any kids, so all I have is beneficiaries, a person who will own this, or who this will go to, or that will go to, in the event, you know, when I have a child, when I have a legacy and someone to leave it, you know, then.
Friend to the show, Cameron Wesley Sr. talked about PODs. That's payment upon death. He talked about something, a form you can fill out at the bank when someone passes away. You can immediately go down to the bank and get the money transferred. This way you don't have to go through probate court. Have you ever heard of POD before?
Nah,
I just wanted to
I
educate
heard
people
of
on that.
probate.
Yeah, probate court. You have to wait to get things over there, get things to transfer. But it's things
Mhm.
like payment upon death for people who may have kids or families who want to keep the house going due to an untimely death. Payment upon death immediately transfers the funds over to whoever you have it received so they continue to pay your bills and keep things open and flourishing for you so your finances don't get locked up in probate court. And another thing he
Mhm.
talked about was his cultural counterparts speaking about how they use insurance on their loved ones. They take out insurance policies on their parents,
Mhm.
their grandparents to build generational wealth. And they don't
Right.
take out just a little bit, they take out hundreds of thousands of dollars. So when they
Mhm.
pass away, they take this money and now buy land, buy homes. They do things to build wealth inside the family. In our
Mhm.
culture, some people feel like you're putting money on their head or speaking death over them. Why do you think we feel that way when it comes to how the system can actually work for you?
I think it's another part of self-hate, man. You know what I'm saying? We don't think we don't think we don't look past us.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? We don't look past us. I think, especially, most likely, I think in this generation more so, or maybe the generation prior, like, we don't really look past us. Like, a
Elaborate
lot
on
of the,
that.
I mean, A lot of the people in my generation that I've, interacted with, there's nothing in place for their kids. People that have kids at this age, I meet a lot of people with kids, and there's not a lot of stuff in place for their kids if the worst happens. They're not thinking that far ahead. If this is all done tomorrow, what type of position do I leave the people I left behind in? They don't think about that because they can't see past what they want to do, what they want to accomplish.
That's a valid point. A lot of people also run from tough conversations. We had to have the tough conversation in our house to see who would we leave our children with if we were both to pass an untimely demise. That's a tough conversation. To say who you want to call and say, hey, would you raise my kids for me if something happened? Are you financially stable? Can you take that on? Do you really know this person that you're getting your kids? Do you really know the person? Do you really know them? How they intricately, do they want to have another kid around the house?
All these, how they gonna cut your kid's hair?
Yeah, exactly. All types of things. How they gonna treat them? Where they gonna sleep? Will they financially stable? It's a lot of tough conversations out there about that. So I encourage everyone to start having these tough conversations because you'll need to have them once. Just once.
Just one time, yeah.
In relationships, we all go through things where we character build. We learn stuff from different people, whether you're dealing with them intimately or just friendship level. But what do you do in a relationship when you're someone's preparation but not their destination?
Saying what should you do or what do you do?
What do you do? How do you handle that?
I think I've enjoy the moment, man. Enjoy what you may be. You know what I'm saying? Like, you may feel one way about a person, and if they don't feel that same way, then enjoy them for what they are. Enjoy it for what it is. Enjoy it for the moment. In life, there's gonna be a bunch of moments. And if you get stuck in trying to make that moment last forever, then you're missing out on a bunch of other moments.
Well said.
Don't be salty about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, find a way to not be salty about it. Just enjoy it while it happened to you. Keep it up here so you can always go back to it and be like, damn, some good ass times, fam. And you got it there, so you can always revert back to it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But don't be salty about it.
Absolutely. I agree with you 1,000%. When should a man get serious about a woman?
What do you mean? Like, you mean age, or you mean?
I mean, like, serious, like, I want to marry this woman. This is the one.
You mean, what is she doing that would allow you to feel that way? Like, what do you
from your personal, when should a man get serious? Like, is it him that needs to work on himself? Do I have enough to offer? Or, oh, this is everything I've dreamed? Like, when should he say to himself, man, I need to get serious about this one?
I mean, if he's with somebody that he notices has him performing at an elite level in life and performing to his highest potential, if he's looking around and, he looks in the mirror and he looks better, skin glowing, he's smiling more, his bank account is exceeding where he expected it to be, when he's like genuinely happy, man. Because I don't know, I hear a lot of people who say, like, marriage and love is hard, and I mean, I don't know, you know what I'm saying, because I've never been in at least the marriage portion of it, and I probably haven't been in like authentic grown-up love, maybe not, know what I'm saying? I think I just relied on people for different things.
Authentic grown-up love. What?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I think like when you notice that you're performing at your peak, if this person is in your life and you are performing at your peak and you're not mad about it, you know what I'm saying? Because you could be doing a bunch of stuff and performing and be miserable as hell, you know what I'm saying? But if you know you're performing at your peak, like just, and it shows and you feel it, you know what I'm saying?
Right. You know,
I
one thing
think,
I always say about women is that they're nurturers. They take whatever you give them, and they multiply it, give it back better to you. That's just my
mhm,
opinion, right? That's how I
mhm.
feel about it. And so when you speak from that that place, I really resonate with that. I say, you know what? Yeah, they incubate you. They make you better. They challenge you, and you want to meet the challenge. Most most men who are looking for that companionship, that love from that type of walk through marriage is they're looking for the challenges to keep them going and being with this person. I want to ask you a question. I want to put you in the husband seat. This is one of my favorite questions. I know you've never been a husband before, but you can still answer this question, and it's subjugated towards you, and you got to pick at least one and tell me why.
Okay.
As a husband, would you rather have a great woman or a great wife?
As a husband, would I rather have a great woman or a great wife? A great wife.
Why?
Now, the definition of wife, are they by my standards or are they by like societal standards? Just,
Well, it's subjugated towards you, so it's your standards, and I hope the definition of wife is always to that person.
I mean, if I'm a husband, I would rather have a great wife because then that means she is everything I need her to be.
For you.
She's for me. She's everything that I need her to be for me. You know.
And now you spoke about a few minutes. You say you've never been married. One thing I could say about marriage is that how much are you? It depends on how much are you trying to understand communication, right? There are levels of, for example, the 5 love languages. The basic levels that everybody should know what the 5 love languages are. And have you heard of the 5 love languages? And
Yeah.
one thing I've learned throughout my marriage is that love languages change. People grow, things change, experiences happen, and in different frequencies. You got to now tune your radio to see what frequency they are now on. And sometimes each one of you resonate differently to a different frequency, which means that you shouldn't expect the love you put out to be the love that someone wants to get from you. If you're prepared to say, hey, I buy you all these things, this is my love, this is the way I show you love, but that's not what they're requesting, then it means nothing to them.
Right.
And I think
absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing. And so many people make that mistake of giving the love that they want in return.
Did they consider love?
Yeah, no, or just giving out the love that they like.
Okay.
So if they like quality time, they think giving quality time is supposed to make the person they're in love with happy. It don't work like that. It works with communication to understand what makes that person like what they like, and then they have to in turn be reciprocity to give you what you like. And then you meet in the middle, and then that's how these things continue to grow, and you have communication. So that's one little gem I can drop about that, is that people grow, people change in marriages. Sometimes you don't even like each other, but like comes back around if you always have love and respect and communication. It can be like that. Like it can be a moment. It can be a long moment of not like or miscommunicate so you're able to remodel yourself and understand, hey man, you're not the person, you're falling, you're going backwards. You're not even going up with your goals. You're coming down. I don't like you right now, but I love you. So let's get this even keel back. And it might take a while, man. That's why I say marriage is for life. It takes a while. It might take somebody 5 years to learn something new. If you have somebody in your marriage and y'all get married and you say, hey, I don't like this, what you do when you do it. That person's been doing it their whole lives. So you want them to change tomorrow or change in the next 6 months or change in a year? It ain't going to happen, because eventually they'll change. The quick change will happen, and then they'll go back to their regular selves.
Revert back.
Yeah, muscle memory. Muscle memory works both ways. When you're practicing to be great, or you just who you are and didn't know that it was a mistake.
Yeah.
So many people have to realize that changes take a long time. Mustard seeds take a long time to grow. Trees take a long time to grow, but once they sprout up right and they strong and they rooted, it'll block you from the rain, produce great fruits, smell good, or get chopped down because you're trying to build
a lifetime.
Feed you for a lifetime, or get chopped down if you're trying to build a house where the tree is. That's a whole nother lifestyle we talking about right there.
Yeah.
I came up with something called operating at 100%. And what I mean by that is I took 5 categories: purpose, health, confidence, money, and knowledge. Again, that's purpose, health, confidence, money, and knowledge. I gave them 20% each, totaling up to 100%. Purpose meaning you're working in your purpose every day, doing the things you need, that you feel purposeful, that you feel you're here for a purpose doing those things. Health means you're working out, eating, praying, meditating. Confidence means you're doing without any fear or any insecurities. Money, you saved a little money, invested a little money, or gave to a charity. Knowledge, you took in some new information. So that's purpose, health, confidence, money, and knowledge, all 20% each, totaling to 100. It's a daily thing that you actually add up every 6 or 7 days. It depends on how you feel, to give yourself an average on life, how you're working towards your goals of being your best self. So I asked you, Mr. JFK, Mr. Coon, within the last 24 hours, how much of 100% have you been working out of? Purpose, health, confidence, money, and knowledge.
I would say 20% knowledge, 20% money, 0% purpose. 0% health. You said?
Really? So no meditation, no prayer, no eating right at all, none of that. I wouldn't give yourself a 0. Yeah, don't give yourself.
I say, but you say the furthest they can go up is 20%
from 0 to 20. Yes.
From 0 to 20 health, I would say 8%. 8%.
Confidence.
Prayer.
Confidence,
I would say 14%.
Okay, so you got 20, 28. That's 48% plus 10 plus 4. That's 58, 62%, sir. So you had 62% out of 100, which is nothing wrong because we have our days. If you adapted this lifestyle and started getting yourself up to 90, 95% and start achieving these things, I guarantee your life would be like, whoa, how did I get here on this journey? Especially if you add your purpose. You say you're not operating in your purpose right now, which means you're still soul searching, but that's great because all of us have, at least you have another day, and every day that you wake up is an opportunity to be great and an opportunity to grow where you need to grow. So that's great. I know for me,
I like that diagram, though.
Yeah, operating at 100%. Absolutely. For me, I have been working my purpose by doing this interview with you today. And I think that's my 20% health. I actually did work out today. I'm happy to report. I worked out and I rode on my bike and I ate good. I almost did not eat good. I almost went and got me something I wanted, but I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I made it. But but I don't know how good I'm gonna do after I get up this. After I get up this interview.
Right. You still got a whole day left ahead of you.
As the day is just getting started. So confidence for me, I didn't have any fear or any insecurities today. I just gave my best, and I know my best will be better. So when you do your best, just know your best will get better from you doing your best.
Right.
That's money. Did I make any money today? I didn't make any money today. No, not a drop. I didn't save any money today. Stocks? I didn't look at my stocks. That's why I said I didn't take a look at it today and look at anything.
There might be some money there.
It might be some money.
It was a good day. It was a good day today.
It was a good day today. I didn't look. I didn't take a look at it whatsoever, but I definitely will. And knowledge, I took some new information about you and also read a couple things today. So absolutely. So what I try to do
is I give myself 4% for purpose, man. For this interview too. I give myself like 6%. Yeah.
There you go. For
68. This interview.
You have the 68, so you climbing. And what it does, what it does is give you accountability, and it gives you a pinpoint like, hey man, if you're not feeling like yourself that day, then you can go back and say, man, because Wednesday I was operating at 54%, but then Thursday I was operating at 85%. It must have been a good day. What did I do on Thursday to get me to 85? And then now you want to try to replicate. And then now you're saying, okay, now we added up for the last 6 days, I've been operating at 84%, but I want to at least operate at 95 because I got goals ahead. I got things I want to do because things happen. People call you, people need things. Tragedies happen, things happen where it might knock your percentage off when you live in your personal best. But that's what happens in life. But if there's no measuring stick, we're just out here just living. You gotta live on purpose now. It's time to live on purpose. It's just time for success to be on purpose. It's time for money to have legs and be on purpose. Like you can dictate your success the way the world is set up. You can dictate, hey, I'm gonna be here at this amount of time. But you got to know what it takes to format it.
Right.
Thank you, sir. You are now part of the Silhouette Boys Club. It is people like you who move in the shadows that people like me shine. Now, before you go, we love to get referrals for the show. Is there anyone you would love to come on this show and drop these gems?
You had Cal on here yet?
No, I did not have Cal on here.
Yeah, you need to get Cal on here, man. I'll tell him. I'll make sure I hit him up and tell him, yo.
Yeah, please do. Let him know.
Definitely got some gems for you, yo.
Definitely got some gems. He dropped some gems today. Mr. JFK, is anything you would like to tell the people today where we can follow you, support anything you're doing in the community, support what you got going on in terms of your podcast? Let us know something today.
Right now, it's you can find me JFK the God on Instagram. Story to Tell YouTube channel, and I'll be putting up some new content momentarily, and just keep your eye out on that channel. It's gonna be a lot of new content coming up, so keep your eye out.
Story to Tell, man. I really love that YouTube account. Make sure y'all go support it. It's a really good, funny, engaging about what's going on today in a perspective of JFK, and I'm a true supporter of that, and I want everyone over here to go check that out. We need to laugh, we need to dance, we need to cry, we need to have all the emotions unapologetically to get to the best versions of ourselves.
Absolutely.
For those listening, you can reach me at SOULutionsformen@gmail.com to be a guest on the show. Also at Sheen1 on all platforms. Let's continue this conversation on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Clubhouse, or in the streets if you see me. Before we go, we end with a quote from Dr. Miles Monroe. True success is not measured by how much you have done or accomplished. It's not compared to what others have done or accomplished. True success is what you have done compared to what you could have done. In other words, living to the maximums, competing with yourself, is living up to your own standards and capabilities. Success is satisfying your own personal passion and purpose in pursuit of personal excellence. So question of the day, question of your life. Are you maximizing your life? Ladies and gentlemen, this has been SOULutions for Men. I'm your host, Sheen1. Thank our guests, JFK, Mr. Coon. We thank you so much. Peace and blessings.
Appreciate you, man.
No doubt.